Welcome to Inner Racing by Motorsport Mind. This is the audio version of my popular monthly free video series on mental skills in motorsport. I'm your host Greg, and I'm here to share with you practical insights and strategies to help you enhance your mental racing performance both on and off the track. So get ready as we dive deep and explore the mindset behind successful racing, and as we look at practical ways that you can sharpen your racing mental skills performance and gain a competitive edge when you go racing. Let's get started. Hi everybody, Greg here, and in this week's weekly video I want to talk to you about staying positive. So when we talk about staying positive, it's not about being rah rah rah. So many of you know I have been described as annoyingly positive, and it's not rah rah rah. A really good way to think about it is being solution focused, right? So we're not being rah 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 super positive about, just like being really what we call pan-glossian about everything and just thinking that everything's going to be great and amazing. And it's about being solution focused, what we can do rather than what we can't do, what's right rather than what's wrong. And that helps us to stay focused. It helps us to give us a focus on what we can do, what is possible. Remember, we have this thing in our head, our reticular activating system, which looks for patterns and things. And one of the things about becoming negative about stuff is that we start to notice more of what we're paying attention to. So if we do get negative, we start to notice more negative because it looks for patterns. If we see positive things, we start to see more positive things, and we're more positive. And when you begin to think that the estimates, or the rough estimates, are that we think anywhere between 50,000 and 70,000 thoughts a day, that's the current rough estimates, and that 95% of those thoughts are unconscious, so they're not conscious thoughts, they're not conscious decisions, it's just automatic processing in the background. But that 70% of those are estimated to be negative thoughts. That's quite big because that means we're predisposed to being negative. And what you've got to remember is being negative is what's kept us alive for millions of years. If we assume that there's something around every corner going to jump out and get us, then, we're more likely to survive rather than just walking around as if everything's amazing. So the organism has good reasons for doing it. The problem is, of course, in modern times, we can see lots and lots of things as a threat, and that can really affect our positivity. So what's the benefits of being positive? Well, we get stuff done. We find solutions. We make progress. We gain traction. We move towards what we want. Many of you will remember that the positivity ratio is 3-1. So whenever we notice that we might be becoming negative about something, we want to look for 3-1. 3 positives to every one thing that could be better. The other thing we want to watch out for is other people. Remember, emotions are contagious. So if somebody around us is a bit negative, we can either try to help them change their perspectives so that they're more solution focused, so that they see more positive things, or we can change our environment. The other thing about being positive is feeling as if we're at cause and not effect. Remember that when we're at cause, we feel as if we're in control, and that's huge for our unconscious. That's what our unconscious absolutely thrives upon. It thrives upon knowing that everything's going to be okay. Certainty. Knowing that there's not a tiger around the corner, that there's no threat there. So when we're at cause, it means that we're taking charge of things. We're making the decisions. We don't feel as if we're reacting to things all the time. We're taking decisions. We're taking actions. Something happens. I take another decision, another action. But it's always me that is moving forwards towards where I want. When we're at effect, we feel as if we're reacting to things all the time. Things are happening to us. And from an unconscious point of view, that's not a great thing because that's then perceived as threat. That puts up our stress level. We start to look for more threats and the whole thing cascades again. So these things apply whether we're talking about racing, day-to-day life, fitness, health, diet, anything. When we talk about positivity, we're really looking at how can we stay solution focused? How can we take control of things and make things happen rather than reacting to things? So think about positivity in you right now? Are you planning your season? Are you making plans for your fitness? Are you working on your mental skills? Are you in a bit of a lull? Do you feel as if everything's in your control from a team or a season point of view? Is it harder to maintain focus during the off season, to stay working towards things? Have you set any goals for yourself to work towards, some easily attainable day-to-day goals? Is your day-to-day life organised enough? Are you organised enough day-to-day? Or do you feel like you're always chasing your tail? There's too much to do. And again, that drives up our sense of not being in control. That makes us more negative and we can spiral again. So thinking about a race weekend, how can we take more control on a race weekend? How can we maintain our positivity on a race weekend? How can we maintain sort of a solution focus when we go testing? How can we be positive when we're on the sim? How can we set ourselves little goals on that as well? With our mental skills, how can we improve our habits? How can we look after ourselves a bit better so that we improve our recovery, our mental fitness? I mentioned in this week's weekly video about HRV experiments. And that's one of the things to remember is your smart wearables, whether it's a Whoop, a Garmin, a Fitbit, an Apple Watch, a lot of things will give you a readiness score. And your readiness is how well you're prepared, how well you're able to work out and train. But that's based upon your HRV. So when we're working on our HRV and we're measuring our HRV, it gives us a real insight, not into just how much load we're under mentally and how we're coping with that load, but also how we're coping with the load physically. Remember, HRV and mental skills, when we talk about stress, it's not just feeling stressed, it's about load on the organism. And the more you're aware of what's going on with you, the more you can take control of it, again, putting you at cause. And then you can make actions, you can make plans, and you can progress towards things, making positive steps, staying positive, rather than getting negative and then just focusing on, well, if that's wrong, what else is wrong? And finding yourselves spiraling down a plug hole of negativity, which can happen easily on a race weekend when something doesn't go to plan, can happen easily off season, can happen anytime to any of us. So again, think about the things that might affect that. So you've got your sleep, nutrition, health, fitness, direction, goals, sense of purpose, positivity, all of these things. And how can you stay more positive this month at the start of the year and throughout your season coming? One of the simplest things to do is to check in with yourself. You know, every week you get the weekly email and I'm always saying, check in with yourself, check your bucket, ask yourself the questions. Take control of yourself. Be in control of your thoughts, your thinking, your mind, your state, rather than being a passenger. We did a video a few weeks ago about the elephant and the rider, the elephant in the room. And that metaphor of your unconscious being the elephant and you being the rider, and the elephant will do what it wants to do. Pay attention to it. Recognize those unconscious unmet needs. What do you need to do for you? It's a way to take control, create certainty, create positivity, and have a more positive outlook. So remember, being positive is not about rah, rah, rah. It's about being solution focused. What I can do, the actions I could take, the options that are open to me and the choices that I have and the ones that will have the best outcome for me, what we call a well-formed outcome, and then setting some small goals to move towards those things to give us some traction, some movement, some motivation. So stay positive this month. Think about how you can improve your positivity this month, next race, next test, next season. Think about your positivity and how you can become more solution focused. Any thoughts, any comments, any questions about any of that, let me know. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye. And that wraps up another episode of Inner Racing by Motorsport Mind. I hope you found this month's topic valuable in your journey towards peak performance in your racing. To stay updated with the latest content, be sure to subscribe to the newsletter, download the app, and subscribe to the blog. Just visit motorsportmind.com or follow the links.